Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's fourth video. You're going to have a look at the weather for 10 to 14 days for today's fourth video. Day 10 will take us to the 26th of December, Boxing Day, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe once around a couple of weeks, we'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that gets us well into the middle part of January. I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that first. Video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, with also release of weekend forecast and the EC for today for the UK and Ireland. Please check out all today's videos and content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that. Like, share, subscribe on all of today's videos. Thank you so much everybody. We need to put on around 45 subscribers to get ourselves to 17.5k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe to our channel, spread the word about GavsWeatherVids, that would be incredible. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, going to start off with central temperature. A lot to get through for this one. The plot is thickening for Christmas. More about that in a moment, but we're going to start off with central temperature. The CT is currently sitting at 4.9. Hold on. Excuse me, everybody. CT is currently sitting at 4.9, that's 0.3 of a degree above the 61 to 1990 average provisional to yesterday, to the 15th of December. So for the first half of December, we're basically coming about average. The first week of the month was cold, the second week of the month was much milder. They cancelled one another out. The third week of the month, though, you're going to see the CT really rocketing upwards. So I reckon by this time next week, we might be somewhere close to around 6 degrees. However, the last week of the month, we're going to determine where we land up, I think, with this CT this month. If we get a very cold final week of the month, then obviously the CT will come down quite quickly. So we shall wait and see. We'll keep you updated on that. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at Leeds today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Leeds, starting off very substantially above average at the moment. It is really mild out there. If you have not ventured out yet, then you won't need your thick coat today. I would have thought very mild day, and these very mild temperatures are going to carry on to the beginning of next week. However, we've got a bit of a drop coming later next week, and then that drop might continue into a Christmas period. Dates on the bottom of the graph here, and when we get to the Christmas period, we can see that Leeds, along with many other parts of the country, being predicted to go cold and average there, with the GFS ensembles, possibly a little bit of an uptick in the upper air temperatures as we get towards the end of month and the end of the year. Precipitation-wise, going to be a lot of dry weather through the next few days, but turning more unsettled through next week. Check out weekend forecast for more about that. Looking really quite unsettled over Christmas period. If it was to be cold enough, of course, some of those precipitation spikes could be snow. Have a look at Snow Row in a moment. And unsettled, this may carry on up to the new year. Let's check out Snow Row, shall we? Why not? This is how Snow Row is looking for Leeds, and quite interesting. There's a fair few spikes there, actually, anywhere from around the 26th of December up to around the 30th, but particularly focused around here, which is kind of Christmas, Boxing Day, etc. It's quite big spikes in there as well. So yeah, you know, there could be a little bit of snow over the Christmas period, but it all remains to be seen. That's Coventry as well, a few spikes there. That's Northampton, local to me, a few spikes coming through there as well. So it all remains to be seen, but you know, there's a possibility that the cold Christmas might be coming back on track. Temperature anomalies from the 16th, 24th of December coming out above average, not just for the UK, but through most parts of Europe. Very mild week to come. And precipitation anomalies, hang on, let's flip that over, hold on. Precipitation anomalies look like that, so near normal, wet average in the far north, otherwise near normal precipitation for the rest of us. Latest info map from earthnorthschool.net shows the reason it's going to be very mild. It is very mild, going to be very mild. It's going to bring the wind up from a long way southwest around an area of high pressure sitting over France. If you drag the map up, You can see just how far south the air is originating from. We've got the Canary Islands, for example, just there. And air from that direction is working its way all the way up to the UK and Ireland. So, yes, we've got a very, very mild air mass coming from the Azores, the Canary Islands, Madeira, etc., 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 bathing the country at the moment. Okay, let's start going through the chart data then. Brace yourself for this, everybody. Brace yourself. Okay, UK Met Euro run. And starting off on Tuesday, an area of low pressure developing along a stuck weather front to the southwest. That will bring some wet weather to many parts of England and Wales on Tuesday. That gets out of way into Wednesday. We go into a cooler run of northwesterly winds. And then low pressure deepening to the north of Scotland towards the end of the week could bring severe gale force winds and possibly some northerly winds as well. So this is Friday. Got a push of northerlies coming through them. Now that takes us into Saturday, Eve of Christmas Eve, when it is looking cold with northerly winds on the UK Met Euro run. Upper air temperatures are cold through the country, so milder air is waiting in the wings out to the Atlantic, but of course how successfully that mild air will be pushing in would remain to be seen. Icon, again, looking very unsettled on Tuesday and mild into cooler sort of westerly, northwesterly into Wednesday and Thursday. Low pressure deepens to the north of Scotland, but not as much as on the UK Met Euro run, and we don't get as much of a northerly push either. However, we do bring some colder air into the north and the northeast of the country at the end of next week before winds start backing quickly into southwest on Saturday the 23rd, the eve of Christmas Eve. Upper air temperatures show cold air has made it into Scotland and the northeast of England, but the rest of Ireland, England and Wales looking relatively mild. This is how the, which one we're looking at here, this is how the KMA is looking. So again, got this area of low pressure at our southwest. This was South Korea, of course. Got the KMA, got the low pressure southwest on Tuesday. Will bring a very wet day to much of England and Wales. That gets out of the way. We go windy and showery and chilly through the second half next week. Real battering there, potentially of gales or severe gales at the end of next week into Scotland. And as that low pressure transfers into Norway, then the wind gets pulled into the north. So this is next Saturday, Eve of Christmas Eve, looking quite cold. Winds in from the northwest. Could be some wintry showers coming into the north. Christmas Eve brings low pressure in from off the Atlantic into that cold air, and it is sort of struggling to get in. All sorts of possibilities are possible with that, all sorts of potentially possible with that, as the low pressure stalls coming in from the west and possibly the precipitation turns to snow. How interesting will that be? That's Christmas Day, another area of low pressure up to the north. Still being relatively cold air with that. Might bring some wintry conditions into Scotland. And then we go into a more definitive push of milder air from the Atlantic for Boxing Day. So after all messing around for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, Boxing Day turns milder, wetter and windier. Though probably only briefly by 28th of December as far as we get to. We could be hinting at bringing wind back round to a northwesterly again. I'm going to show you the JMA as well. Don't normally show you the short range JMA, but this is how things are looking from Japan, as we're including, you know, South Korea. Why not include Japan as well? So again, we've got that system bringing a very wet day potentially on Tuesday down in the south. That gets our way. We go windy and showery through the middle of next week. Could turn stormy towards the end of next week. Look at those severe gales by next Friday. Wow, wow, wow. A real battering is possible at the end of next week. It is one to watch. Before we worry too much about Christmas, we've got to get next Thursday, and particularly sort of Thursday to Friday, out of the way. And it is possible we might get some very disruptive winds up in the north in particular. And then that gets out of the way, we go into a colder run of northerly winds. This is Christmas Eve, colder air digging in from the north there. Christmas Day looking cold with the JMA as well. There are little features within the flow that might bring a risk of wintry conditions. Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. JMA keeps it cold as well beyond that. So unlike the KMA, which quickly returns back to milder conditions, actually the JMA keeps things cold all the way up to the 27th of December there. Right, let's have a look at the GFS then. It's all quite interesting, isn't it? After yesterday's video of the day before. Right, so this our GFS midnight run is looking again. Got an area of low pressure to our southwest on Tuesday. About to bring a very wet but also quite mild day on Tuesday. Then we're into northwesterly winds through the middle of next week. Relatively mild still with those. Could be quite stormy up in the north towards the end of next week. And then into Christmas. Well, this is Christmas Eve. Again, we find colder air is starting to dig in from the northwest. See the -5 south iceberg making it all the way down to south. By Christmas Eve, that's Sunday, of course, next week. Week tomorrow. That's Christmas Day, midnight on Christmas Day, looking cold here. So winds are turning from a northwesterly to a northerly, and there's a little low that's across Iron, but of course that low could be anywhere, really. Could be further east, could be further west. It might not even be there at all. But the upshot is it's turning colder. There's rather an unstable cold northerly wind as well. Might bring some snow showers with it if this was to verify. Winds were direct northerly there from polar sources by the time you get through to Boxing Day. So to follow the isobars back up to here, you see the air is originating from a very, 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 very long way north, going all the way from the pole right way down to Spain and Portugal. Actually, that really is the long fetch northerly, and it is bringing some very cold air with it. You know, we've got -10 celsius iceberg coming southwards, particularly into parts of Ireland. The high pressure quickly toppling by the 27th of December, allowing something slightly mild to start coming in around the top into the far north. But the south and south beach probably still pretty cold up to them. And then beyond that, well, a high pressure sort of weakening gradually as we head up towards the new year, allowing milder air, but also some outbreaks of rain coming from west. It's not straightforward though, but eventually, after a while, the milder weather with west winds returns. Although by the new year, and today we get to New Year's Day with the GFS operationals, we can get ourselves to the first day of 2024, and on the midnight run looking rather cold and showery with northwesterly winds then. The GFS 6Z, again, much of a muchness for Tuesday, generally mild but also very wet down in the south, into those westerly winds Wednesday and Thursday, might turn stormy into the north towards the end of the week. Got to watch out for that. Still looking relatively mild, wet, windy way from the north of Scotland into the beginning of a Christmas weekend. That's 23rd of December. But by Christmas Eve, again, the GFS 6Z is also introducing colder air from the northwest initially. And it's see -5 south iceberg making it down to the southern coast, actually clearing the country by the time we get through to Christmas Eve there. And then we're into a proper northerly by the time we get through to Christmas Day. Again, it is a long fetch northerly. It looks rather unstable as well, indicated by these kinks. We always look out for kinky isobars. They indicate little features and troughs within the flow. Those little kinks in the kinky ice bars, are always quite important when we're in these sort of patterns. And so that just tells me there might be an enhanced risk of precipitation. And of course, if the air is colder, then that precipitation could be wintry. And look at this, the GFS 6Z brings a -10 celsius iceberg all the way down to northern by Christmas Day. That would be the coldest Christmas Day if it verified. If, big if, it's the GFS, remember. We know how the GFS can be pretty unreliable at the best time, but if it verified, that would be the coldest Christmas Day since 2010. Boxing Day, so then high pressure begins to slip down towards France. Wilder air is trying to come back in from off the Atlantic. We turn it milder between Christmas and the New Year, west winds. However, by New Year, we're going colder again as heights start to build up around Greenland ice, so winds turning back into the north. And so the first day of 2024 is cold and wintry with northerly winds returning. And this time we've got what looks like a pretty decent block starting to get going just to the south of Greenland. Very interesting. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Around 40 to 45 subscribers will get us to 17.5k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, we'll thank you so much for doing that. GM, again, looking mild but also very wet down in the south on Tuesday into both cooler and showery westerly winds through Wednesday and Thursday. Might turn stormy with this area of low pressure Thursday to Friday. Got to watch out that could bring some severe gales, particularly into the north. Cold air starting to move in from the northwest by Friday as well. Into the Christmas weekend, again the GM is also turning things colder. So yes, that's Christmas Eve. Low pressure then from eastern Scotland to Norway, Sweden, that's pulling the wind into a colder northwesterly bias. Biocell's isotherm is down into the south. That's Christmas Day with the GEM. Also, that one looks cold as well, with a proper northerly, -10 cells isotherm heading into north of Scotland. And then a little secondary low develops close to the north of the country, over Scotland, through Christmas Day into Boxing. That's midnight Boxing, so that's like Christmas night, really. Now, all sorts of possibilities, potential and possibilities with that. The upper air temperatures are still looking cold. Now, that could well be bringing significant snow, especially to the northern half of the country. Unlike your verified, because it's the GEM, it's not one of the better range models, but, most of them are going cold, it has to be said here. Just really icon struggling. And this one, this is the ECM, it's the last model. I'll let the cat out of the bag there, but this is not overly cold. Check this out, though. So we start off generally mild and wet on Tuesday. And we're going to both cooler, but still relatively mild, sort of west-northwesterlies into Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, might be turning stormy in the north with severe gales across parts of Scotland. We do get a push of cold or cooler air anyway from the northwest by Saturday. Cold for Scotland, not that cold further southwards, but then more low pressure starts coming into the flow, you see, and that delays those northerly winds pushing through. So that's how the upper air temperatures are looking for Christmas Eve. So yes, the cold air has got into Scotland and the far northeast of England, but most of Ireland, England and Wales looking relatively mild there. That's Christmas Day, still not pushing that cold northerly through. Upper air temperatures show the cold air is in over Scotland, but the rest of the country looks relatively mild there, and by Boxing Day the milder air is pushing northwards, so we never get the cold air down into the south, and even in the north by sort of the end of Christmas Day the cold air is retreating away. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. What wet weather there is over the next day or so will be in the northwest, and then we go through to Tuesday and get a real deluge across England and Wales. Rain could be on throughout most of the day. Once that clears, we're into those showery west-northwesterlies, and then we head into the Christmas weekend where we find showers turning increasingly wintry up in the north by the end of Friday as colder air digs in from the northwest. But then into the weekend we have rain coming in off the Atlantic. So this is Christmas Eve. We have got snow here for Northern Ireland, Northern England and Scotland, so the battle lines are drawn a little bit into Christmas Eve. Rain further south within the milder air, snow showers up across parts of Scotland, and then into Christmas Day, the snow risk is further north. So we do have some snow there for Christmas Day, for actually for Scotland and the far north of England. Against rain, though, further southward. By the time we get through to the end of Christmas Day, the snow risk is mostly confined to the far north of Scotland. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensemble Day 4, Day 10. Gets us to Boxing Day, 26th of December. This is like Christmas night, really. So this is midnight Boxing Day, I should say. So midnight Christmas Day to Boxing Day. 27 members of the ECM Ensemble. Perhaps looking quite cold, though, with low pressure to the east, high pressure is out to the west. So I reckon about that's sort of cold cyclonic winds in from the northwest. That could be in line with what the GFS or the other model output did. They may have 13, including the operational run, with high pressure over France, low pressure to the north of Scotland, bring up wind from a southwesterly direction with that one. So that's the operational run. Not the majority option, not all that well supported really by the ECM ensembles at day 10. The majority option is the cold option, I think, here, including the control. But we do have 11, though, with low pressure again to the north, high pressure to the south, winds in from the west. So I suppose if you was to put the 13 here together with the 11 there, that gets you to 24, but looking relatively mild on Christmas night, and then you've got 27, that could be colder So, the majority option is certainly in favour of like that slightly colder outcome, but it is a very, very close. I think it's almost 50-50. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It gets us to New Year's Eve, 31st of December. 20 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our east. That could well be bringing cold winds from the north. Notice a little bit of high pressure just to the south of Greenland as well. 20 with high pressure ridging from the south to the north. Could be a lot of dry weather with that, but could be some frost. And then 11 mild with high pressure over France, low pressures away to the northwest, winds coming up from the southwest. So even as we get to the new year, there is a hint here that we might have things a little bit cold. Big changes from what we had yesterday even. And remember, CFS V2 finally beats the 500 millibar heights and orange, breaking down into weekly periods. The first weekly period is going to take us from the 16th to 22nd of December. So the next week has low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and winds are coming in from a westerly direction. Week 2 is going to be the 23rd to 29th of December. Low pressure and transferring more towards Scandinavia. High pressure beginning to pull out a little bit more towards the North Atlantic. That's still unsettled, but might be turning cooler anyway, with winds in from more of a northwesterly direction. Week 3 is going to be the 30th, 7th, 5th of January. So low pressure still just about to our north. We have got blocking, but it's more over the Canadian side of Greenland, which means that southern, east and southeast parts of America could turn very cold. For us, because of this ridge in the Med, and the high pressure is more towards the Canadian side of Greenland, we probably keep wind in from like a west-southwesterly direction, so that could still be relatively mild, but unsettled for the new year. However, this does look potentially cold. This is week 4. It's the 6th to the 12th of January by them. High pressure is over Scandinavia and to our east. Low pressure should say over Scandinavia to our east. High pressure is out in the Atlantic, and winds are coming in from a northerly direction. So that could well be cold there into week 4, but of course it's a long way off. So pick the bones out of all of that, like everyone. It's interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. But where it's all going to land up for Christmas, it's still up in the air, if you pardon the pun. And we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. 40 to 45 subscribers gets us to 17.5k. So if you could give us a sub, that would be incredible. Thank you so much. Right, well, that's it for day 10 to 14 down. However, we've got one more video to go. That will be the that we'll talk about. That will be the 17th Christmas update. The reason I said ECM, I say ECM there, is because I might do it a little bit later. It will be like a regular Christmas update that goes through day by day by day by day, but I might have a quick look at the other 12s there as well with that, as they are all within the Christmas time frame now. And I've got a feeling, just I don't know, but just in the waters, we might see a flip from the ECM to colder tonight. So I might, delay the 17th Christmas update until a little bit later on. So it'll be between sort of 7 and 8. But it could be quite a pivotal update. Anyway, 17th Christmas update is coming up for you tonight. So check that out. And tomorrow we're going to have 6 AM UK weather forecast. There'll be a 10 to 14 day as well. Hopefully we can include some strat data in that. And then when we get into the evening at 6 PM, we'll be live here on YouTube. We'll be live streaming the 12s there. We'll do Ensembles watch, and we'll include some long range in that as well. So it will be another epic live stream that'll be coming up at 6 PM tomorrow. You enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. I'll see you a little bit later on with that, what I think could be a very interesting 17th Christmas update. Having said that, let's hope the 12 there doesn't all fall apart on these cold charts. Yeah, anyway, regardless, whatever it's shown, we'll be back with 17th Christmas update for you this evening. But for today's 10 to 14 day, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.